We actually had no intention of making this video. We took a popular day trip from Vienna, Austria to just be goofy tourists, but we liked it so much that we extended our stay for 2 nights and realized it deserved its own video.
If you've been to Vienna, you probably already know we are talking about Bratislava, Slovakia. It was just a 1 hour train ride from Vienna, and it only cost us 18 euros a piece for round trip tickets, which also included a 1 day transit pass in Bratislava. I thought that was a really good price.
It was.
The countryside was beautiful. It's actually very flat and very green. There's a lot of green farmland. We also saw a lot of wind turbines, not a lot of big cities in between there, but the openness was it just added to the whole charm of the train ride. And it was so relaxing.
When we arrived at the train station in Bratislava, we realized our eSIM from Austria didn't work. There was no free Wi-Fi available in the train station, so we weren't able to buy an eSIM that would work there. So if you can't do that, you might not be able to call an Uber, but you can take the number 93 bus. You just have to go under the train tracks. There's a tunnel that pops you up right by the bus stop. From there, you can get a ride right into town, and that is included in the rail pass that you bought to get there.
There are taxis available out front, but we did hear that you have to beware of taxi drivers overcharging tourists quite a bit. So make sure you know how much that should cost before you go if you want to take a taxi. We took a boat back to go to the station when we left Bratislava, and that cost us €4.50.
All right, now let's talk about the weather, Amelia. What did you think when we first got there?
Oh my gosh. I was thinking I should have brought even warmer clothes. It was freezing. I mean, not really. It wasn't like full-blown winter, but boy, it was chilly. It was rainy and super windy and gray, and we powered through. But wow, that wind was brutal. It made it feel like winter.
I know, and this was the last week of May that
Yeah.
we were there. We were not expecting that. The wind was just really kind of bone chilling. But when we woke up the second day, it was beautiful. It was in the mid 60s and sunny, and it was really nice breeze. We walked all over the place that day.
Yeah, it was absolutely perfect. It was gorgeous. And speaking of walking all over the place, it is super walkable. We really didn't take advantage of the free transit that came with our rail pass because we walked everywhere.
Yeah, and that pass is only valid for the first day that you're there. It's really just a day pass.
That's true.
So the second day we would have had to buy our own, but we didn't need it. It was so walkable, and we stayed kind of close to the old town. So we just walked everywhere.
Yeah, it was so easy. Everything was really flat. The sidewalks were nice and well maintained, and it is very pedestrian friendly. People were watching for pedestrians and stopping for pedestrians, and there is pedestrian only areas, which we always appreciate. If you like to walk, there's a big 10K loop that you could take around the river. We did not do all of that
The
though.
Danube River. We did walk quite a bit along one side of the river, but we didn't do the full loops. It's a nice walk, a lot of joggers and cyclists down there. But I really liked all of the beautiful parks that we were able to walk around.
Yeah, me too. I absolutely loved that. And just walking along the river was so peaceful.
So they do have trams and buses, just like they do in most cities, and they run throughout the town.
Yeah, and they're very affordable. They run their fares based on times and zones. For example, a 30-minute ride is about €1.20 for a standard paper ticket. It's a little bit cheaper if you get an e-ticket. You do have to validate your ticket, so it's not as easy or straightforward as it was for us in Vienna, but validating your ticket is also very simple. You can also get day tickets and weekly or monthly tickets. So you could ticket yourself like crazy to take the trams and buses and the trains. They have trains, obviously. When we got to the hotel, we connected to the Wi-Fi, but first we made sure our VPN was on, which actually it always is because we always want to be protected. And that's why we're so excited to talk about Surfshark, today's sponsor. We've been traveling throughout Europe and using public Wi-Fi in airports, train stations, hotels, Airbnbs, restaurants, cafes, and more. And we always use a VPN to protect our privacy. Surfshark secures our data and our identity by protecting us from hackers, phishing scams, and ransomware attacks. And they never log or collect our data, so we feel safe knowing that no one is tracking us. We also use Surfshark for streaming. We realize different programming is available in different countries, so we use the VPN to change our virtual location. Therefore, we can watch our favorite shows everywhere we go. Right now, Surfshark has a great offer. You get 4 months extra. Plus, you get 24/7 support. You can use it with all your devices, and it is risk-free for you to try because they offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to surfshark.com/AAJP or use code AAJP at checkout to get 4 months extra of Surfshark VPN. And now back to Bratislava. And one of my absolute favorite things was how beautiful it is. The natural beauty is just stunning. There is so much green space. And there are flowers all over the place, which of course was making me sneeze, but it was totally worth it. It was very, very clean there. And like I already said, you have the river. I mean, boy, what more can you ask for?
Yeah, it was nice. Lots of dogs out playing too. So if you like dog watching,
Yes.
that was fun. We saw dogs all over the
Yeah,
place.
it's a very dog-friendly city.
We were surprised how affordable it was. We had lunch for less than $30 for the two of us. Dinner, we spent $20 to $30. Kind of depends on where you go and how nice. In the tourist areas, it's more expensive, but if you go just outside of that area, it's actually really affordable.
You can buy a bottle of wine in the grocery store for around 4 to 5 euros, which is a nice price point, in my opinion. I was impressed with the price of the non-dairy milk for all of those lactose intolerant peeps out there. A thing of oat milk was only €1.39, which is cheap. That is super cheap for that kind of stuff. I was really pleased.
Yeah, so that's like what, $1.50 or something, $1.70, and we were paying $3.59, I think, for the same thing in Ecuador.
Yeah, and that was a couple years ago. But we didn't obviously buy groceries while we were there, but I did go into the store and look at the prices, and the prices were really good.
They do have a lot of river cruises that stop in Bratislava. Sometimes it's very busy down in that area. There is a mall down there, and the Old Town area is walking distance too. And so when those ships are parked there, it's busy, lots of people. And on Saturday, there were lots of tour groups and cruise ships out there on the weekend.
So if you want to avoid that, well, you can see them. If you walk out to the river, you can see them, and then just don't go in those areas. The good news is that really, compared to some of the other places we have been, it was not that crowded.
No, it
And it
wasn't.
was easy to avoid them. Once you got out of the main drag, so to speak, of the historic center, you just walked like one block over. It was completely quiet.
One of my favorite things, or maybe my favorite aspect of this, was the buildings, the architecture. I have never seen Hungarian Art Nouveau before. It looks like a fairy tale, like ripped from the pages of the Brothers Grimm. Everything was just so ornate and beautiful. The Art Nouveau is just beautiful on its own, but then with the Hungarian twist, that made some of the buildings look like wedding cakes.
Oh my gosh, I know. I was in awe because, I mean, first of all, Vienna, gorgeous. And then to come to this city and see it being equally as gorgeous, so beautiful, so charming, but in a completely different way. I just absolutely loved it. I just could not get enough of all of the gorgeous architecture. And I also loved just tooling around the historic center. It's really neat. They have a lot of really fun sculptures, a lot of good public art to enjoy as well. There's a variety of shops, and obviously you have the history there. It was just a really great experience.
I really liked that blue church. The
Oh,
blue
I
church.
know.
It looked like a wedding cake. You even had the little silver sprinkles on it.
I know. It really made me want to go to Hungary and see more of that Hungarian Art Nouveau. We really had fun exploring the castle. The first day we went, I thought we were going to get blown off the side.
Yeah, it was so windy.
But I'm glad we went back the next day. We were able to enjoy it a little bit better. And again, I just loved it. I mean, the beautiful parks, the views from the castle are stunning. What's great is that it was completely free, so you could just walk up there and just spend all of your time enjoying the views, learning a little bit more about the history. They had those really awesome sculptures in there as well.
And the view of the UFO, the
Oh,
bridge
yeah.
on the way into town. There's a restaurant on top of that bridge that's called the UFO. I just have no idea why they would call it that.
Gee, I can't imagine why. We did not pay the money to go in there. It was a little bit pricey.
Yeah, what's it, 10 euros just to go up?
I think so. And then we could go over to the castle and experience the castle views for free. I mean, you're not as high, but we were okay with that. I loved seeing all the views because it was really amazing to look out and see all those trees everywhere too. It was just so green and pretty. JP, in case you can't tell, I really liked it.
I know, me too. You know, it wasn't even on our radar to go to this city, but now we're thinking about hosting one of our turtle leaps for our turtle travel club there, maybe even next year. So if you're thinking about slow travel, but you don't want to go alone, check out our awesome travel club by scanning this QR code or by clicking the link below or going to ameliaandjp.com/ British club.
I thought the shopping was also really good in Bratislava. It's definitely a good spot to stay for longer than just a long weekend or even a day trip. You got to give yourself more time there. There's so much to experience. They had a really nice shopping mall. We were able to find some stuff that we needed. I also appreciated that there were a lot of English speakers because I think it would be a tricky situation to try to learn the native.
Slovak language.
Yes, that would be difficult. Not impossible, but a challenge. And the people were really, really friendly. I really liked it.
Safety is another factor that's important, and we felt safe the whole time we were there, day and night. It just seemed so family friendly, and just everybody was out walking their dogs or children playing outside. It felt extremely safe. Like we didn't have anything to worry about there.
No, not at all. I agree with you. We saw little kids all over the place, lots of young people. Like, I think they may have just graduated high school, out enjoying the day and hanging out by the river. And everybody was very respectful. I didn't see a lot of like shenanigans going on.
Yeah. We always are on the lookout for shenanigans. The one last thing we should probably talk about, Amelia, are the visas. Is there a visa that will allow us to live there?
Well, unfortunately for us, not really. They have residency visas, but they're for specific purposes like study, work, family reunification. You might, however, be able to use the other purposes category. So if you want to apply for a visa there, if you're collecting a pension or Social Security, you might be able to use the other purposes category. You will need to prove that you have sufficient funds to support yourself. And they do also have business and entrepreneurship visas. So not as straightforward as Spain is the example I always like to use. They don't have as many options, but it's doable. And it's definitely affordable if you're looking for a good low-cost country. However, you may not want to be there year-round because of the weather.
Yeah, it does get cold in the winter. They do have their own airport, but the Vienna airport is not even that far away. It's so close because the Vienna airport is between Vienna and Bratislava. So it's not even that far to get to either airport.
Yeah, that's a good point. So you have two different international airports that you could use.
I know it would be a really nice hub, especially because it's so beautiful and affordable.
Agreed.
All right. So what did you think, Amelia? You want to go back to Bratislava?
I think that's pretty clear. I want to go back. I loved it. So I had no expectations going into it other than the fact that that's an hour away and I'd like to go and see another part of this part of Europe. Boy, am I glad we did. I mean, for us to decide to extend our stay, it was too good to be true. I still can't believe it. I kept telling JP it felt like we were in a fairy tale.
It did. It felt like we were in a whole new country. Oh, wait, we were.
Is that a dad joke?
I know, it's a bad dad joke. All right, so have you been to Bratislava, or is it now on your list of places to visit? Let us know in the comments.
And remember to check out the Turtle Travel Club by clicking this box here so you can join us on a future trip and maybe even in Bratislava.
That'd be cool. And if you missed our video from Vienna, you can check that one out next.
That's all we have for this one. Before you go, leave us a like, please, and we will see you all next time.
Ciao.
Ciao.